Shalom, I'm Alex Lederman, and this is Israel Policy Pause. Late last week, a United Nations General Assembly panel voted to request from the International Court of Justice an opinion on the legal ramifications of Israel's occupation. This is the latest step in a campaign by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to internationalize the Israeli-Palestinian conflict by taking the fight to UN bodies and other international institutions amid a stalled peace process. The proposal was formally submitted by Nicaragua, given that the Palestinians lack full UN membership. It was voted for by the Arab states, including those with which Israel has full diplomatic relations, which is not necessarily surprising, but it is definitely of note. And the US and Israel were, of course, among the countries that rejected it. The US reportedly asked Abbas to reconsider the move, given that it would be counterproductive, increase tensions, and be generally just an unhelpful unilateral step that would not further the goal of a negotiated resolution to the conflict. Taking a step back, the International Court of Justice has two main functions. It addresses disputes between states and offers legal advice to UN bodies. The International Court of Justice, unlike the International Criminal Court, cannot prosecute individuals, but its opinions amount to interpretations of international law. There are concerns in this case that the International Court of Justice could rule that the occupation amounts to an illegal de facto annexation, which of course would have huge ramifications for Israel internationally and give legitimacy to calls to isolate it and put significant pressure on it. In other news, yesterday Israel swore in its 25th Knesset, with President Bougie Herzog and Knesset Speaker Miki Levy both giving speeches calling on lawmakers to abandon the toxic and divisive discourse that characterized the last Knesset. The prospect of them doing so is certainly not very high, but it's also very striking looking at the Knesset, the lack of representation for certain groups. There's only going to be one Druze member in the new Knesset, 29 women, 9 Muslims, and 3 openly gay members out of 120, which is a huge setback in Israel for representation in the political sphere. Meanwhile, Netanyahu did not succeed to form a government by the time of the Knesset swearing, as he had hoped. There are still a lot of outstanding issues surrounding ministerial appointments as well as policy concerns, and reports have suggested that the talks between Likud and the other parties in the bloc have stalled. That's it for this week's Israel Policy Pause. If you rely on Israel Policy Forum for credible, informational, and thoughtful analysis, please give a gift today to ensure that Israel Policy Forum's work continues to have an impact. Donate now at israelpolicyforum.org/support. I'll see you again next week. Yalla bye.